What's up, guys? I made a TikTok the other day going over the 5 things I wish I knew before I started my career in public accounting, and it got a lot of engagement. So I'm gonna make it here on YouTube and go a little bit more in depth on what I wish I really knew before I got into public accounting. I've been doing it now for 9 years. Can't believe I'm a senior manager now, and I love it. It's awesome, but there's obviously some things that if I would have known earlier on in my career, I probably would even be more ahead or even more prepared than what I am right now. So the first thing is of the 5 is it takes about a full year to really learn the job. After my first year in public accounting, I was going to quit, believe it or not. Yeah, I know. I've been in it so long now that, I forget about those initial years that were very difficult in my career because it was very, very, very difficult for me to acclimate myself to public accounting, corporate culture, just everything in general. And it wasn't my firm wasn't at fault. It was just me. Like, I was the first one in my family to go to college. My family, my dad was a welder, my mom cut hair, so not really corporate family background. So, it was always the recommendation from my parents was like, okay, education, go to school, go to school, go to school. But once I got to school, it was like, all right, what do I do now? And then my parents were like, go to school. And it's like, all right, bro, I'm here. Like, what do I do? And especially when I graduated, even more so, like, and God bless my parents. I had amazing parents growing up. But they couldn't really help me in that realm. So me being, going through work my first year, especially my first busy season, it was very stressful because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And it took about a full year for me to kind of just start understanding conceptually, okay, this is what we have to do. And for me to feel a little bit more secure within myself, and I can resonate. And that's why I think I made this channel, because I've been there and I understand what it feels like to feel completely lost and helpless. And maybe you don't have the best people helping you sometimes. And that can happen, every firm has great people and every firm unfortunately has not the best people. And that's just the way it is with everywhere. But that being said, it takes a full year to understand the job. So maybe you're in your first year, going into your second year, and you're still kind of struggling with a few things. I can promise you one thing, and this is probably why I stay in public accounting. It never gets easy. It never does. No matter the levels you keep going up in, the more responsibility you have, different tasks come up. You need to get better at certain things. Now, for example, I need to get better at, presenting to clients and selling, and my soft skills are super critical now, especially if I want to elevate to that next level, which is partner for me. I definitely want to get there, and I will get there. But that being said, it's a different skill set, and there's certain meetings and certain things that I come across every day that I struggle with. I 100% still struggle with, that I try to get better at. So give yourself a little bit of grace. It takes about a full year, if not 2, to really fully conceptually understand what you're doing and to really feel comfortable with the job. So give yourself a little grace. That being said, work super hard. I promise you, if you were smart enough to get an accounting degree and get into a big firm or any firm at that, I promise you, you have the technical ability, just with some work and some tenacity, to get there. Second thing is, once you become technical enough to understand the job, which usually again happens year 2, year 3, soft skills are critical. They're really what's going to separate you from the pack or from other people, is your soft skills, how you present. Once you get technical enough, you're going to start leading meetings. Typically as a senior, you're going to be expected to lead client meetings, lead meetings with the partner and the manager about how how the audit's going, how a project's going, how many hours we have, what struggles you're coming up with. And those soft skills are super critical to your career, not only in public accounting, but outside of it as well. You start seeing that a lot of people that tend to move up very quickly in firms or in companies are typically the people that are people, that are good with people, that can present well, that can sell themselves well. That's really, I think, half of, if not more than just debits on the left, credits on the right. Soft skills, super critical. And the best way to really get comfortable with that and get good at that is put yourself in situations where you can meet new people. Put yourself in situations where you're going to networking events. Again, I always tell people this when it comes to public accounting: make sure you're getting more from the firm than the firm's getting from you. And what I mean by that is, obviously they're paying you a salary and you're working hours for them, but you always want to make sure you utilize all the tools that your firm has, utilize all the networking events that you can, even if it's internal networking within your firm. Meet as many people as you can. The bigger your network, the better you're off you're going to be. And meeting new people is an intangible skill within itself. It's even, helps you with dating and other parts of your life. Believe it or not, if you're good with people, other aspects, it'll bleed into other aspects of your life. So soft skills are critical, presentation, all of that. So the best things I recommend for that are reading. I do a lot of reading. Reading helps you present, articulate your thoughts. Making YouTube videos helps a lot. And also going to networking events and meeting random people and starting conversations and being able to handle yourself in a certain way where you're able to present well is a really, really big intangible skill in my opinion. Next thing up is Excel I don't care what anyone says, Excel, being a master with Excel is critical. Even as a senior manager now, there's certain times when I have to look at a document that either a client provided or my team's working on or whatever's going on. I get a document, and thankfully, I spent my first 3 years in public accounting really honing down the technical aspect of the job, which a huge part is Excel and being in the sheets. And with that, I was able to become super technical. I'm very quick with the hotkeys. I can get a document and it can be all screwed up. And there's certain times when I receive something that I need to be able to look at very quickly because, my time is just charged at a much, much higher rate than associates or seniors are now, just because of the level of experience that I have. And with that, I'm able to utilize the skills that I built years ago, 7 years ago, into my day-to-day work life now. And being great with Excel, I can't tell you how cool it is and how much of an intangible skill I have. And just being able to maneuver that. And I can tell you, I've done some work internationally now in Mexico. And Excel is pretty much the same everywhere. I think every single country in the world uses Excel to handle their financial analysis, their financial statements, their bank reconciliations, their AR agings. Everything usually exports it to Excel now. And the faster you are to be able to maneuver it and to master it, the better off you're going to be. Number 4, network as much as you can. I cannot stress this enough. I'm huge on networking. And really, I get a lot of questions either on TikTok or on YouTube on how to get good at networking. And it's really just putting yourself out there and starting to meet people. It's not going to be easy at the beginning. It's going to be very awkward for you. But I promise you that's really the only way to get good at it is building that networking muscle of just seeing a random person and just kind of gradually going up to them, introducing yourself, letting them know what you do, giving them a value proposition, and then just kind of starting a normal conversation, wanting to know, genuinely taking an interest in people and understanding, hey, I'm a senior manager or whatever, right? This is what I do. I usually don't sell it like that, but I somewhat kind of tell them, hey, I'm a CPA. I focus on the middle market. What business are you into? What do you do? And then they just start telling me. And I promise you, even when it comes to dating, networking, meeting new people, when you talk to someone and you meet them, anything they tell you, you can build a question on that. And I promise you, everyone likes to talk about themselves more than anything else. So if they tell me they work at some company, then I can ask them, okay, cool. How long have you been there? Oh, I've been there cool. How long? If you've only been there for 2 years, what did you do before that? Oh, great. How'd you get into that? Did you go to school for that? And you just kind of build and build and build and build. And you start really getting to know the person and how they can add value to your life. And not only that, you can start thinking of ways how you can add value to their life. That's probably the best way, I think, you can network efficiently and effectively. And the last one is, I wish someone would have told me how important communication is in public accounting. Cannot tell you how, and I struggle with this till today. I still struggle with it, and I don't know if it's people like to call it imposter syndrome or whatever people call it. I don't know the technical term for it, but I can tell you that I still struggle with the fact that I take on sometimes more than I can chew. And a famous quote that I've heard that I try to remember before I take on new projects or new assignments or anything else is don't let your mouth overload your back. That is so true. I can't tell you how many times I've resented my job or resented my teams or resented certain things just because I said, oh, yes, I can do this, or yes, I can do that, or yes, I can take that on. And knowing deep down inside I really couldn't because I was already slammed and super busy. Sometimes you really have to have the tenacity and the patience within yourself to kind of take a step back, detach, and tell yourself, okay, I can't take this on right now. Like, there's no way. You need to have this internal dialogue before you respond. You have like a second to think about it. Hey, can you take on this other project, or do you have capacity right now? Be like, let me check my calendar, let me check my schedule, and I'll get back to you. The best way to answer it. Or one of the best arts to answer how to maybe not take on another project if you're already super slammed is, hey, I'd love to work on this project, but I have this other project going on. It's a little smaller. Would you be able to help me get that off my plate so I can handle this one? That's usually the best way to get around, or, maybe you do want to work on this other project, but you want to make sure you do a good job. Then have whoever's asking you to work on this other project to take something else off your plate, so then you can kind of supplement that or replace that with this new project. Because if you take on both, you're not going to be able to service both clients or both projects the best of your ability, and you're going to end up really resenting both that boss and that boss and that client and that client, and no one ends up happy. I'm telling you, communication, especially in public accounting, since you're kind of siloed within your group sometimes, and then sometimes another group wants you to help them out. Communication is so key. The golden rule in public accounting is under promise and over deliver. The worst thing you can do is over promise and under deliver, because I promise you, one of the worst things, and one thing that I absolutely hate, when someone asks me, oh, hey, what's the status on this? And I tell them, oh, it's not done yet. It's like, I feel like the other person gets like a little kick out of telling me that something's not done and asking for it, and knowing that I didn't have time to get to it. It like irks my soul that happens. So I make sure that doesn't happen to me by communicating my schedule, giving them a realistic timeline of, hey, if I know something is going to take me 5 hours, but within the next 3 days, I maybe have 3 hours only, then I'll tell them, hey, if it's a Monday, I can get it to you by Thursday, knowing that I'll probably have it done by Wednesday, but just giving myself a little buffer and setting the expectation, instead of saying, oh yeah, I can get that to you by tomorrow, knowing dang well that I don't have time till Wednesday to really get to it. So communication is super critical. And lastly, kind of a bonus, is I think maintaining your physical and mental health is super critical. I try to maintain a consistent workout routine, and one of my goals this year is just to get in the best shape of my life, because the better I feel physically and mentally, the better I show up to work, the better I show up for my clients, the better I feel, the better I look. I just feel overall like a better professional in general. I'm able to service my clients better when I take care of myself, and everything about me is just working well. Take care of yourself. Get 6 months, every 6 months, you should be going to your doctor, getting checked up, getting blood work at least once a year, going to the dentist every 6 months. This is one thing that it's really gross to share. I really neglected for years, my first 3-4 years in public accounting, when I was just so focused on working that, it's not even my firm's fault or anyone's fault that I didn't go to the doctor or dentist. It was just my own fault that I was irresponsible, unprofessional about my life. If you're so good at your job and you're slaving away to your clients and whoever else, slave away for yourself also. Show up for yourself. If you tell yourself, hey, I made a doctor appointment to go this day, go to that doctor appointment. Don't budge. If you made a dentist appointment, go to that dentist appointment. If you made an appointment for yourself to go to the gym, have some respect for yourself and your calendar the way you respect your job and your clients. Because if you just do one and not the other, I can't tell you how many people I've noted and I've witnessed let their health, let their personal relationship, let everything deteriorate in their personal life, and it bleeds into their work life, and it ends up making them unhappy and unfulfilled in general. So follow these 5 things and this bonus step, and I promise you will have a much, much more enriching and fulfilling experience in public accounting. That's going to be it for the video today. If you found value in this video, please make sure to smash the like button below. Until next time, work hard, dress well. Peace.